Story 1. Am I the a-hole? My classmate saved goldfish by releasing them into the ocean. I called her a dumb butt. My classmate recently made a TikTok and she showed it to a group of people at lunchtime. They were next to our table, so I overheard the girl say, "Hey, look at my TikTok I made. Come check it out." And in it, she explains how she rescued goldfish from the pet store and released them into the ocean so they can live free. I was horrified upon hearing this. I love fish and have several aquariums, so I'm fairly knowledgeable on them. I walk over and ask her to show me the video, and I facepalmed. She asked me why, and I said, "You realize you're actually a dumb butt, right? This is one of the dumbest things I've ever seen." Her friend said, "Well, that's just rude. Why would you say that? Because she cares?" To which I had to explain that goldfish are freshwater fish. They can't survive the ocean because it's salt water, so all those goldfish were dead in minutes. They basically choked to death as salt filled up their gills. Lastly, you never release animals into the wild. There are goldfish that are destroying our rivers and lakes because of dumb butts like her. They said that I'm a bully and walk away. I later got called into the principal's office, who told me I was expected to apologize, and I said no. I stand by what I said. F ignorant people who destroy the environment. My parents were called over and I got sent home, and my parents are peed. I refuse to apologize. I might get suspended. I mean, you're right, but you are an a-hole. I mean, I don't think there's any getting around it, because you know what the non-a-hole way of doing that? Oh my gosh, you should actually know those are freshwater fish. You don't want to release them into the ocean. And then just explain all the stuff that you explained in here without calling her a dumb butt and making her feel bad for trying to do something right. Oh, you're angry at people because they don't know these things and they're doing stuff the bad way? Wow, I wonder if you could just educate them so they could do things right, and maybe that would be nice, instead of just being an a-hole about it. You're totally right. People shouldn't be doing that stuff, but when it's all with good intentions, you don't have to be a prick about it. Story 2. Encounter with entitled parents in the pediatric emergency room. This happened yesterday. My 3-year-old daughter was diagnosed with bacterial pneumonia, and we ended up in the emergency room because she was struggling to breathe. Pneumonia is very serious. She was put on a nebulizer and oxygen and given an IV for more meds while we waited for a room to open up in the PICU. The emergency room was pretty full. The rooms are small and you share them. There's a curtain that divides them. There are no doors, just another curtain. Around 4 p.m., a family member arrives with my mom, dad, 5-year-old daughter. The mom briefly looked in on my side of the room and could see my toddler laying in the bed hooked to machines with an IV. It's obvious that this isn't a stubbed toe. So I can't help but hear the parents explaining why their kids are in the ED, stomach pain. Meanwhile, the kid is asking for something to eat. She sounds quite perky. Parents insist she has a kidney infection. Whatever, I don't know her history, not interested. So my daughter was given a steroid through her nebulizer to help open her airways. Her oxygen, which they wanted 90 or above, kept dipping into the low 80s, making an alarm sound. The nebulizer makes some noise, and the side effect is hyperactivity, so my extremely sick kid was medically wired as hell. Within 30 minutes of arriving, the entitled parents call for a nurse and ask for a private room because their daughter needs to rest somewhere quiet. Meanwhile, their daughter was blasting Ryan's toy review from her tablet and loudly demanding chocolate chip cookies and milk. The nurse explained that there are no private rooms in the emergency room. My daughter then starts to have a coughing fit, which is scary as her oxygen drops off and she chokes until she vomits. I had 2 nurses trying to help by suctioning her and patting her back. I'm trying to help her, but my daughter is turning blue. I hear the entitled mother ask the nurse, "How long are they going to be expected to listen to that?" Afterwards, my daughter was wiped out and was crying a little, and the entitled mom rang for her nurse again and asked again for someplace quiet so her little girl can rest. Her daughter was making a lot of noise playing with something. Then they started playing with the lights. The room had a light switch to control the lights on each side and then a master switch to cut all the lights. My daughter is afraid of the dark. The entitled dad cuts the lights for the room, making it quite dark with the curtain over the doorway drawn. I tell my husband to turn on the lights on our side, which he does. The entitled mom calls her nurse to complain that it's too bright for her little girl to sleep. It's 5 p.m. The nurse explained that they are welcome to shut the lights off on their side, but they have to leave our side alone. They complain a bit about how ill their daughter is. Meanwhile, my daughter is drowning in her own lungs, which I'm sure they know as you can hear everything. Then the nurse leaves and they shut the lights off for the entire room again. My husband immediately turns ours on and calls through the curtain that we need our lights on. Silence. Our nurse comes in to attend to my daughter's IV and they attempt to get her to force us to have the lights off. Our nurse basically tells them to knock it off. Then they start pushing for more space. They attempt to push our chairs away where my husband is sitting. They put their chairs way over on our side of the room, pushing the curtain into our faces essentially. My husband pushes it back. They call and complain, rinse and repeat. Finally, a room in the PICU opens up and we're told that we would be admitted in an hour. Entitled parents complain that they asked for a private room first. The nurse explains that we're being admitted, not given a private room in the ED. The entitled parent demands they be admitted first because their daughter is so much sicker. The nurse says that there is no reason for their daughter to be admitted as she's just constipated and as soon as she poops, they'll be free to go. The parents start freaking out. So that's my story, how the parents of a little girl who needed to take a crap felt they were more important than a little girl with pneumonia. Edit. First of all, my daughter's doing much better, thanks for all the well wishes. Second, many of you say you would have caused some sort of scene or you would have acted aggressively or called them on their behavior. I work in an emergency room for 4 years. Unruly parents were often removed from the emergency room without their child. I kept my head down and took it because the care my child was receiving to keep her heart beating was more important. Imagine that. My daughter was never in danger. Her nurses were attentive, helpful, friendly, and responsive. I would have taken whiplashes from Satan himself if it meant my daughter getting care. The petty complaints and power play coming from the other side of the curtain didn't affect my child at all. The nurses had their number, they were handling it. Good on this person for holding their cool, and bad on those other parents for being so self-centered. Like, I get that they're worried about their own child, but A, they have medical professionals saying like, your daughter's not that bad off, it's fine. And B, you can't be so focused on your own child in a hospital setting that you can hear another little girl with pneumonia who's like struggling and throwing up, hooked up to all that kind of stuff, and not care about her to the point of like putting your child above her. Like, I know as a parent, you're always going to put your child first, but sometimes just a little bit, logic and empathy need to actually enter into the equation. Otherwise, I'm scared of you as a human being. I need you to have some amount of empathy in the world, or my assumption is that you could very easily become some kind of murderer. That's all I can say. It's very frightening when people act like this. I can't quite get a grip on it. Story 3. Entitled mother thinks I should give my diabetic snacks to her daughter. So I'm a type 1 diabetic, and in the morning I went out for a bike ride. As I'm a diabetic, I always bring snacks with me in case I go low or get hungry. I bring a juice box, a few glucose tablets, 2 fruit chew bars, and 2 granola bars, just enough for me to be able to correct my blood sugar twice and have a small snack. As I was biking home, I passed someone sitting on the ground who looked like they were kind of distressed, so I pulled over to ask if they were okay. The guy was a little younger than me and told me he was a diabetic and showed me his medical alert necklace. He explained that he had gone low while biking but forgot to refill the snacks in his bag when he had left, so he was trying to figure out what to do. No one to bring him anything, but didn't want to call an ambulance over this. I offered him my snacks and to sit with him while we waited for it to go back up, explaining that I was a diabetic. After I had sat down with him and gave him the tablets, a woman came over and asked for my juice box for her daughter. I explained that I was giving him what I had because he was a diabetic and had low blood sugar, and I needed to rest to ensure I could get home safe. She started to tell me that she and her daughter had been biking for a few hours and she was hungry and just wanted my juice box and a granola bar. I asked if her daughter was diabetic, and she said no, so I apologized and again explained nicely that I need those for myself. The conversation that followed is as such. So why did you give him some? Because he's a diabetic and his blood sugar is very low. For reference, our blood sugar is supposed to be between 4 to 8 and his was 2.3. Do you know him? No, but as a diabetic, I know how dangerous lows can be, and if I was in his position, I'd hope a fellow diabetic would try to help me. So you don't know him? The conversation continued like that, and she asked why I cared if I didn't know him, and me giving the same explanation until the guy rechecked his blood sugar and it was back up to 3.5. As this was still a little low for both of us to feel comfortable, I grabbed my juice to give to him, and this is when entitled mom tried to grab it out of my hand, saying that if his blood sugar was still low, I should just call him ambulance, and then I could give my snacks to her and her daughter. At this point, I was honestly kind of peed and told her to F off, and that as a mom, she should have thought to bring snacks for her daughter, and if I hadn't gone by what would she have done? She was red in the face, called me a B, and stormed back to her daughter. The guy's level went up, and we parted ways, and as I started to bike away, I heard Mom shout after me, calling me a B again. Look, I get it. You've been out biking for a few hours. You or your daughter, if you didn't bring any sort of water or snack, yeah, you are probably really tired and out of it. That is no reason to take food from diabetics who might need it because that could possibly kill them. Like, how are you this entitled, lady? You gotta calm down. Like, if you're that tired, you and your daughter walk your bike to someplace with food or something. Don't try to steal food from people who might need it for legit medical reasons. Why are you helping this other person? I'm a human with a soul. Sorry if you don't know what that's like, Rebecca. Story 4. Steal my Amazon package? Enjoy your complaint investigation. I work from home. Receive a notification on my phone that my Amazon package has been delivered. It's a couple $100 item, so I immediately go outside, but no package anywhere. I was outside as the delivery van was driving away, so literally no way a package thief snatched it in 20 seconds. The Amazon driver is 2 houses down. Excuse me, I received notification that my package was just delivered, but it's not there. Driver looks shocked, stuttering over words. What's the address? Give him the address. Yeah, I just delivered it to you. No, you didn't. I'm calling Amazon and y'all can sort this out. Start walking away. Driver calls out, I found your package, but it says there's an issue and I can't deliver it. It's likely a duplicate and another driver will be by later to deliver the correct one. Then why did you mark it as delivered? Because I didn't see there was an error. The other driver will be by later. No, I'm calling Amazon now. Walked away and called Amazon to report the incident. They say nothing is wrong with my package and it's marked as delivered. I tell them about the interaction and they say the driver should have given me the package. Even if it's a duplicate, the driver's not supposed to withhold the package. They'll investigate and get back to me in 24 hours. 2 minutes after getting off the phone with the Amazon doorbell rings. I happened to be next to the door, so I opened it within 5 seconds to see the same delivery driver hauling butt down my driveway. Jumps in a delivery van and speeds off through the neighborhood. Look down, and my package is there. Call Amazon again to let them know that I just got the package and it was the same driver who hauled tail. They said they would be opening an investigation into the driver. I also told them about how fast he was driving through the neighborhood. I felt like Karen calling to complain, but truly believe this driver was running a package-stealing scam. Mark's package is delivered, customer says they never received, driver says, well, a package thief probably stole it before you looked for it. Look, I have sympathy for the folks who work for Amazon. It's not a great company. You all definitely, I wish you all the luck in forming a union. Take Amazon for every penny that you can, even if it completely destroys the company in doing so. You deserve more. You are treated very, very poorly, and I completely understand that if you do anything that kind of goofs over the company. But I would say, try not to goof over other innocent people in getting back at Amazon. Like, Amazon, that's the company. Those are the people that are messing up your life. And yeah, do whatever you can legally to get back at them. But don't make other people's lives worse and everything. Like, that person maybe really needed that package. It could have been important. So, I don't know. That's all I have to say about that. Please leave your story in the comments. I would love to make a video on them in the future. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.